Welcome to another episode on the Mindful Introvert podcast. This is a podcast where you can get a moment for yourself to really calm down and just listen to me ramble about a lot of topics such as perfectionism and procrastination and anxiety. And I talk about a lot of topics that can be relatable to you on those matters, and I also do guided meditations. So feel free to go back and listen to a few of those and just relax as you're listening to my voice. And today's episode is going to be about the fear of feeling too good. And I read this. Okay, let's not go into it right now. That's the name of the episodes, and so stick around. So, Joanna here, talking to you about the fear of feeling too good. And this is an idea that intellectually I knew that it can happen, but I never thought it was happening to me, like most of the things related to anxiety and related to self-sabotage. I always think that it never happens to me and always happens to other people. And so that is another mechanism that I use to distance myself from all of the things that I don't want to feel, basically. So I say, oh no, I don't do self-sabotage when I'm actually doing it. And so bringing that to awareness is something that is challenging, but is needed. And growing is not comfortable. And it can be very difficult, but it is needed. As when we were babies, and you see babies cry because they're teething, and you feel bad for them, obviously, and you want to be there to support them and to cuddle them, but that is something that it's needed. They will need that, and it will make them much better for their lives to be able to chew the food and to properly eat. And so it's uncomfortable, but it's needed. And that's what I've been experiencing with my personal development journey. So last episode, if you haven't checked that out, feel free to do it. It's a little bit of an all over the place, like most of my episodes are, to be honest. But that one I was very vulnerable. And I thought, should I take it down? Because I saw that 7 people, as soon as the episode was released, like, people were listening to it. And I said, oh my god, I don't know if I want people listening to this. Should I take it down? Should I just, because obviously it's a vulnerability, so you don't want people to know your vulnerabilities. You don't want people to know when you are low in your life and when you're struggling and when you're confused and all of that. But on the other hand, I thought, what would I want to know from someone that I'm following on podcasts or on social media? What do I seek to see from them? It's not just their happy moments and their conquering all of the things that they want. I also want to, because I care about them, so I also want to see their journey and how, even though they are at their lowest, they can push through and overcome everything that they are thinking and experiencing. And to me, it shows courage when they say, look, this was what happened, and now I'm just understanding the impact it had on my life. but now this is what I'm doing, and I'm overcoming this by coming here and talking to you, or doing therapy, or having a coach to deal with this, or doing meditation or yoga or some other mechanism to cope with the things. And to me is I read a lot of self help books. I listen to podcasts, as I say, but that's the thing with podcasts. I don't really see people showing their low points. I don't really see people showing a lot of help and to deal with anxiety and to deal with um, stress and overthinking and all of that. At least not as a documentary style, at least not like, this is what I'm experiencing. It's always like, tips to stop procrastinating, tips to stop doing this. And it's always very third person and not exactly their experience. So this is what I feel like is missing in podcasts, and that's why I was opening my heart to you. And like I was saying, to me, I read a lot, and reading and seeing someone else talk about how our mind works really helps me piece together how my mind works, because I know this. I study psychology. I know all of this, but I don't know all of this. You know what I mean? So I don't embody it. And now by reading it, I start to embody it. I start to become aware of it. And I think that at least it has been this way with my personal development journey. I feel like with books mostly, and with a lot of things, but let's focus on books. I feel like with books, it has to come to me at the exact moment, because I can talk to you about a book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And that book I knew forever, ever, ever, ever. I knew that it's very famous. I've seen so many people talk about it, and I never felt the urge to have it for myself and just read it. And I don't know what happened. I don't know who talked about it. I can't remember, but maybe 2 months ago, probably, I heard someone talk about it, and the way that they were talking about it is just lit something in me, and I said, okay, now it's the time. Now it's the time to read this book. And I am so glad that I only read the book when at that time, because I felt like if I read the book any other time in my life, it wouldn't make sense. It had to be at that that exact moment. That's how the universe works for me. It's that, take the message now. And I got it. I read it. I loved it. I totally recommend it. And if this is the right moment for you, because sometimes I have people recommending me books and I don't even think of searching for them. But if they happen enough times and in situations where I feel like, yes, this is the moment, yes, you can be sure that I'm going to read it. And so this book that I'm talking about is called The Wisdom of Anxiety. And it's by Cheryl Paul. I think I've talked about this book on the podcast earlier. And I was reading this. Okay, so just a little bit of a background how I read. I have a Kindle, and even though I love the smell of books, the feeling of books, real books, I had to get a Kindle. No, I didn't have to get a Kindle. My boyfriend got me a Kindle actually, because I love to read at night in bed before going to sleep. And he doesn't uh, like me to have the light on. And so I thought the Kindle would be a very good thing to have, because it has the light, and it's not too bright. It's not like an actual screen light like your phone that is making you very tired or anything, or very alert. I can still go to sleep pretty well after reading, because the light is just enough so that I can read. And this is really good as well, because also do um, I can also highlight the things that I feel like, oh my god, this is like perfect quotes, or things that I want to revisit. And I can review them all and in one document, and all of the highlighted text, and I can go back to it. And this is just for one book, yeah. So what I do is I have multiple books. I'm reading at the moment maybe like 5 books or something, and I don't read them from beginning to end. I just feel like, oh, what's my mood today? Today I feel like reading this book, and so I go and I read that one, and that has been working very well for me. And when another time I will do some book reviews for you that I feel like are very good for personal development, at least for me have been. But today I just wanted to talk to you about um, this book. And yesterday I was reading this chapter that makes total sense. That's why I listen to my intuition, because the universe shows me what I need to see at that given time. And so my intuition told me, read this book today. And it was the exact chapter that I needed to read. And so the chapter's name is The Fear of Feeling Good or Feeling Too Good. I don't think this is a chapter, but it's just a portion of the book that says The Fear of Feeling Too Good. And I'm going to read for you a little bit, a transcript of what it says, and then I'll give you my insights on it. So it says, as much as we yearn for transcendence, we also resist it, for it's just as vulnerable to feel good as it is to struggle. In fact, in many ways, it's more vulnerable to feel good, because when you're feeling good, you have something to lose, and the ego fears nothing more than loss. You long to feel better. You're sick of suffering, but when goodness arises, you notice a thought process that pushes it away with something like, I don't deserve to be happy. Or, if I'm happy, something will come to take it away. This is your defense system at work, your ego working overtime to protect you from the risk of being vulnerable. And I read this and I said, oh my God, this is totally it. This is totally it. Because I completely know the thing of how my ego works. And another book is The Power of Now. The Power of Now is another book that talks a lot about ego and how it's just not, it is just working with you, against you, my God knows, to not die, it basically to protect itself and to protect you from unwanted situations. And I've been well, like I said. I've had the experience of self-isolating and working from home, doing things in my own schedule, just enjoying my home, enjoying my garden, enjoying my quiet moments with no pressure. Actually, I couldn't leave the house, so there was absolutely no pressure to leave the house. And it's just me and my boyfriend, and just our my own thoughts and my own. I can have silence if I wish to have silence. I can have music if I wish to have music. Very grateful to have my job and be able to, at least for this period that I'm self-isolating, continuing to get paid and do some work from home, um, and so be able to work um, in my sofa, on my sofa, covered with my favorite blanket, wearing my favorite clothes, like my cozy lounge clothes. And it has been just so perfect for me that my ego started to eat me up and started to feed me all of these thoughts that were making me doubt myself and were making me just not feel so well about myself. Because the beginning of quarantine, I was getting up super early. I was doing all of the things that I wanted to do. Like I said, oh my God, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to exercise and all of this. And I was doing it. And then it started to go down like my mood and all of that. And I said, oh my God, I have everything I wanted, and it's not happening for me. What is going on? And now I understand that it was my ego and my brain protecting me from losing this moment and having to go back to work and lose this precious moment that I'm having right now. But by doing that, it's taking me the opportunity from enjoying my present moment, and the things that I'm enjoying right now and that I have right now, because of my fear of losing it in the future. And that is present in my life for a lot of ways and a lot of times. And that's why sometimes we fear that we go back to our old ways when we are trying to implement a new habit and a new behavior that we feel like is going to make us feel amazing, and just that is it. And we sabotage ourselves because we are afraid that it won't last and that we won't continue that for so long, and we'll revert back to our old ways. And that's the ego protecting itself, so not to die, and protecting you from future disappointments. But by doing that, you're losing your present moment. And the book even says, because it's as much of a risk to feel good as it is to feel pain. And so to feel pain and discomfort is something that you're used to. It's something that we never forget. It's like when we have bad memories, they can be 10 years old, we still remember them very clearly and very close to our heart. And sometimes happy memories from 10 years ago, we don't remember them so well and so defined. And we are comfortable with pain, we are comfortable with discomfort. And it's funny, isn't it? We're comfortable with discomfort. But that is true. It's something that we know. And what we don't know is when we create a new habit. Obviously, if it's a new habit, it's something that we're not used to. And if we're not used to, it can be very, we can experience fear, we can experience doubt, and it can be difficult for us to make it a new habit, become a normal and old habit. And we don't allow ourselves to enjoy fully the things that we're having and the opportunities that we're having, and we say, oh no, but this is just, it was, if we have something good in our lives, we believe it was just a fluke or just luck or a mistake, and it was never like meant to be that way. It's a mistake, and when we do that, we are not enjoying fully the present moment and the things that are good for us, because we are afraid. And when we acknowledge that fear, we can understand that we don't have a need to do that. It's okay to enjoy while it lasts, and if you keep enjoying one day at a time, one moment at a time, you'll understand that it can become your reality. Because when we have a reference for loss, and when we think, oh, I have to enjoy this while it lasts, your brain will make it not last very long, because that you have that presupposition of you have to enjoy it while it lasts, because that means it's not going to last very long. So you have to speed yourself to enjoy it, and you're making so much pressure on yourself to enjoy the moment. And with that, sometimes when we are so attached, it doesn't happen, right? We have to let go, accept, and that way it will happen in its own terms, and we can enjoy it for longer when we detach ourselves. They say if you love something, set it free. So yeah, it's basically something or someone. Set it free, and if it's meant to be, it will come back to you and you will enjoy it at your own accord. So this idea, when we are sabotaging ourselves and really making us feel this negative mood, because nothing is telling us that we need to feel like that, and so we think, oh my god, everything is going exactly how I wanted, everything is just perfect, my life is just going so well. Let me find something to bring this back a little bit and bring me back to a place that I'm comfortable and that I know what to expect. Because when we don't know what to expect, we become very fearful, very, oh my god, I don't know, this is going to be very difficult, and we can oh my god, can't say the word, catastrophize. We make it something bigger than what it actually is. Like the boogeyman just becoming very, very big, when in essence is can be very tiny. And this is within our power to make something that we don't like smaller, because we do it all the time. We make it bigger, in our heads, and we make it present by saying, oh, I don't want to feel this way, I don't want to feel this way. And by constantly saying that, oh, I'm afraid this might happen. If it hasn't happened yet, why bother thinking too much about it? And it helps knowing that it is your ego and it is your brain just preparing for an upcoming danger, so to speak. But it's just perceived danger, and our brain has the ability to make it bigger than what it is. And so when it is just perceived, we can understand that we can become aware of the things that we are thinking, and understand that it is just perceived danger. It's not actual danger. We don't have to grab our things and run. We can just relax, take a deep breath, do some meditation. I have some amazing guided meditations on my podcast. You can go back to listen to those, relax, and understand that everyone has vulnerabilities, and it's okay to seek help. It's okay to not be too much in your head. And it's okay to seek some other tools and some other things to help you deal with anxiety. To me, it was very difficult to admit that I was anxious and that I was depressed, even because to me, in my head, it only happened to other people, never happened to me. And it was difficult. Again, mindfulness came to me out of the blue as well. So the things that make me grow are coming to me out of the blue, which I appreciate so much. Or at least it seems that is out of the blue. I'm sure the universe is just giving me what I need at that exact moment. And I've been taking them. That's why I've been feeling better each day, getting to know myself each day, and just ditching all of the anxiety and all of the stress levels. And each day I'm becoming a better person and more connected to my true self. And that is exactly my message for today's episode, is to understand that your ego might be working. You might perceive it to be working against you, but in essence it is working with you, protecting you from perceived and actual dangers. And you can read and take the messages from the universe, that it gives you the opportunity for personal development and just improving yourself, getting to know yourself a bit better, and relax and take a moment for yourself, implement a self-care routine, and really understand that you are enough, just exactly like you are. You are not broken, like I said on the last episode. You're not broken. You're just as you should be, considering your life, your past experiences, your beliefs. And from now on, you have the opportunity to empower yourself and to regain control of your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And you can have an opportunity to reprogram your unconscious mind. You don't have to be like this forever. That's why it's so important to create new healthy habits. And it can be difficult, very difficult, to maintain these habits because of things like this, because of fear of feeling too good. It's like you don't deserve to feel this good, something might happen. So let's not get our hopes up, because this can be taken away from us. And I think just this past week I've been thinking like that unconsciously, and now I understand. But I understand it now because my personal development journey has been very intensive, and I can acknowledge that most people don't have a very intensive as mine of a journey on personal development. And sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for, like I didn't know that I needed it, or that I wanted to do it. It just came to me. And if this is the first time you're listening to this podcast and it just came to you, someone recommended, or you just feel like this topic was so much needed, I would really appreciate you leave a review on the platform that you're listening to this podcast, and you connected with me on Instagram. I will leave my details below on the show notes, and you can click and you can DM me and talk about your fears and talk about your vulnerabilities if you feel like this is the moment and this spoke to your heart, because it's important to understand that when we speak with people that have been through it, um, they can give you some extra tips and some insights and some other perspective that we are not seeing it for ourselves. And so I would be happy to help you do that. And it makes me feel less alone when I have people come to me and say, oh my God, that is it. I was experiencing the same thing. I had no idea that was what it was. And that just makes my heart very happy. And that is what I have for you this week. And check out my last episode and check out today's episode and see the difference, how I'm feeling and what my journey has been. Just within, like, this was literally, I recorded the last episode yesterday, as in the day it was released, and today is the next day. So you can see, just by having a good night's sleep, just reading the exact thing that I needed at the time, that just shifted my world and increased my awareness that extra step. So yeah, connect with me on Instagram. That is all that I have for you today, and I will see you next time. Bye.